Property taxes are rising in the state of Texas, but did you know that you can protest these property taxes? In this video, I will show you how to protest your property taxes in the state of Texas, the entire state of Texas. It won't take very long. And if you're in the Austin, Texas area like I am, the property values went through the roof. And so now protesting is almost a mandatory affair every year. So let's get straight into it. Also, if this is your first time to my channel, I go by ianofAustin, and here's what you need to know. The state needs to make money, right? Like we have roads, we have public infrastructure, it's required, right? So taxes are just part of the necessary environment, okay? But with the way Texas assesses their property values, you could be surprised with the value they come back with that then assigns the amount of property taxes that you have to pay every year. And so you might be going into this thinking, yes, I'm a responsible citizen. Next thing you know, your property taxes double, you weren't expecting it, and now you have to, move out, sell your house, something like that, because you just weren't ready to pay or maybe even unable to pay. There were people that were pushed out of their homes years ago because of this very situation, which is why we talk about putting in a homestead and then protesting your property taxes every year. We, as real estate agents, explain that to you. Okay, so the first part of this is to understand what is being assessed. And you should have gotten a letter in the mail that talks about, here is your assessed valuation from insert whatever county you live in. So if you live in Travis County, which is Austin proper, right? Then you'll get this letter from the Travis County Appraisal District. If you live north, let's say it's Williamson County, you'll get it from the Williamson County Appraisal District, etc., depending on which county you're in. And if you're in Dallas or Houston, it still applies. We just have to know what county it is that you're referring to. That's step one. Now, if you didn't receive a letter, sitting there twiddling your thumbs doesn't mean that you're not going to get assessed. So what I would recommend is if you're curious what your property is currently assessed at according to the appraisal district, then all you need to do is go to your county's appraisal website and find out what the valuation is. The next thing, now here's where it's vitally important, and I think this is the mark that a lot of people miss. The whole point of understanding the assessment from the tax appraiser is because they're different from a real estate agent, a realtor, or an appraiser that provides an opinion of value. And if you're protesting your taxes, the goal is to be able to say, hey, my house should not be taxed at this high of an amount, so we're gonna need to bring it down. That's why I'm protesting. And so you talk to your real estate agent, such as myself, and we provide an opinion of value that you can use to go to this appraisal district. A realtor or real estate agent's opinion of value is generally called a CMA, which stands for comparative market analysis. And I make it super easy. All you have to do is go to my website, which is ianofAustin.com, type in home evaluation, and you can put in your address and it'll give you all the information that you need to be able to bring to county district. Now, there's an important note, and this brings us straight into step two. Step two is you want to be able to gather evidence. So you start with a CMA. That's step one. That's great. But if you've made any repairs, or if everyone around you has upgraded, renovated their home, but you haven't, that's objective evidence that you can leverage when you're going to the appraisal district to protest your property taxes. Another part of this CMA that you receive, it talks about other homes in the local area that have sold around you. And so if you had Jane and Joe both sold two houses, Jane sold hers for, let's say, $800,000, Joe sold his for $900,000, and you're over here getting assessed at $1.7 million. Well, there's a discrepancy there. And so you can leverage that as part of your objective evidence. Again, pictures, videos, something that might showcase damages or something that supports a lower property value is the point of this objective evidence gathering session. Now, after you have all of this evidence gathered, then you want to file a protest. It's easy. It doesn't take long. You can actually go directly to the website. You can also mail it or go in person. To make it quick, to expedite it, you want to go to the county appraisal district website and then submit the protest online. You only have until the end of May. So seriously, don't miss it. And if this is too much or too stressful or something, there's a company, I put it in a video right here, that I did with the Real Estate Lab, I think last year, and we talked about a property tax fighting company that will do a lot of the work for you. They'll submit the protest. They take the proceeds from what they save you in order to pay their own income, if you will. But you don't have to do that. If you have enough objective evidence, you can do this on your own. I believe in you. This is rough, but I've been in situations where people have said, you know what, my property taxes are way more than I expected, and have decided like to list their home because they just don't want to deal with it. Like an investor out of state, for example, that thought this was going to be a cash cow and the market shifted and now it's no longer. That's something we can talk about as well, but let's set that to the side. So let's go through it again. You understand your assessed value. You have have started gathering evidence, you've already filed the protest. So the next part is the appraisal district will get back to you and they'll ask you to attend a hearing. The point of the hearing is to be able to bring your objective evidence to the county appraisal district and showcase why your property value is lower than it's been assessed. They're going to review everything in the moment. I think where a lot of people mess up is that they're arguing. This is not an argument, right? You're just showcasing evidence. It's a fact or it's not. And when I say bring evidence, like I said, the videos, the pictures, documentation, if you have something in writing from someone else that maybe submitted a low offer on your property, something like that, it just showcases that the assessment is a little bit higher than what they have provided. And I know I said this already and I don't want to be redundant, but I think it's really important. You want to be cognizant of the houses around you that have sold, because if every other house around you has sold for far more and you're sitting here saying my value is like 250,000 less, it's going to be hard to be able to showcase that. Again, unless everybody's renovated their house or you've had major damage to your house or haven't repaired something that's needed repair. I want you to go in and I want you to win. So after all of that, you will receive a decision, and now it's time to kind of review what they say. Either you do get some kind of adjustment, or, you know, it's not the news that you were looking for, which isn't really a bad thing. It just means that your house is worth more than you are arguing. But you do have a period of time. You have an option to appeal this with the state district court. The downside about an appeal is it could be lengthy, it could be costly to be able to go through this appeal. And so if you think about it, if you go to appeal this process, it costs you a lot of money and you end up saving, let's say it's, you know, $1,000 annually, but it costs you $2,000 to appeal this process over a long period of time. Sure, that'll save you, but they're going to reassess it every year. Really crucially important, which is why you protest every year. Okay, so let's go through this one last time. You review whatever they're saying the assessed value is. You start gathering objective evidence to see if you can validate that the value should be lower. You file a protest, and then you go to a hearing, and after that hearing, you'll get your decision. Am I missing anything? It might sound a little bit challenging, but really it's not that difficult. It's only a handful of steps for you to possibly save some money on your annual property taxes. Now, you don't have to submit. You don't have to protest, but I would recommend that because it's your right to do that, it's like voting, like just you protest and it keeps the values from getting out of hand, because the appraisal district is just kind of looking at things saying, well, I think this sold for that much. I think this sold for that much. This is a non-disclosure state. They don't actually know what it sold for. They just know that it was sold, and then they're comparing that to what they think your house is worth as a result. And so you don't want to be overcharged for that. If you still have questions or you want to know more, so you have my website, ianofAustin.com. You can DM me at ianofAustin on almost any social media platform. And then I'll also have information in the description, which talks about tax protesting company that'll be able to help you out as well. I mean, hopefully this is good for you and your family, and it was educational, and I'm looking forward to having you back for the next video. Thanks so much.